WBT's HBCU week begins next week, and joining us now from the national treasure, Morgan State University, is President David Wilson. Dr. Wilson, thank you for joining us.
Jeff, it is always a pleasure speaking with you. I think we try and do this annually, and so I look forward to it.
I know one of the things you look forward to is the students coming back to campus, which just happened. So the campus is again alive and full of energy. And how does that feel?
You know, it feels like a university campus should feel at the beginning of the fall. When our students leave following the May commencement, I think all of us initially breathe a sigh of relief because it gives us a little break. But I think we go through a period there where when we come to the campus and it's only 10% occupied, we just can't wait for the thousands of students to return. College campuses are not really designed to not have students on them all the time. And so here we just have thousands of students on the campus, and it is very, very compact because we indeed have reached our capacity in terms of enrollment.
You've had an enrollment goal of 10,000, I think. Tell us about that.
We started in 2010 when I arrived, and the campus had roughly about 7,200 students. And we did our projections in terms of where the 18 to 22-year-old population was headed, both in Maryland as well as across the country. And that really showed us that there was going to be a precipitous drop in the number of students graduating from high school, both in Maryland as well as across the nation. And so we said, okay, let's be conservative about this because initially we were thinking perhaps 12,000. And with that conservative estimate and knowing what the landscape was looking like, and through mathematical mapping, we landed on 10,000. And we said, perhaps we can reach 10,000 students over a long period of time. And in our strategic plan, we said our goal is to get there by 2030. And so we will certainly be there when we turn our official enrollments into Maryland Higher Education Commission, MHEC, on October the 15th this year. We expect to be somewhere between 10,400 and 11,000 students. Matter of fact, as I speak to you today, our unofficial enrollment has eclipsed 11,000. But by the time we work with a few hundred students who may have financial aid challenges, we do everything we can to keep them here. But at the end of the day, a couple hundred of them or so just may not be able to come up with all the money they need to persist on to completion. And so, yes, this represents, of course, the largest enrollment ever in our 157-year history, and the fourth straight year where we have seen a record enrollment of the number of incoming students.
So where's everybody coming from, and what do you feel is attracting students to Morgan specifically?
They literally are coming from all over the nation. I mean, we practically have every state, save a couple, represented now on the campus. I walk the campus every single day, have been walking it since all the students came back. And we have scores of students from places like Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Alabama, Georgia, Chicago, Milwaukee, all over the nation, Detroit. We still have about 55% of our students that are in state, but the other 45% are coming from all over the country. And I think they're coming for a variety of reasons. I think number one, we have gone through an intentional period here of doing something that we call curricular realignment. And that is simply looking at all of our existing baccalaureate degrees, working to make sure that the students who major in them are being imbued with skills that will speak to the future of work and the work of the future. And then we have brought into existence a number of new baccalaureate degree programs, also with the same theme. What is the work of the future? What does that look like? What is the future of work? And how do we ensure that students getting a degree from Morgan are going to be well prepared for that future of work? And so we basically have some programs at Morgan that are the only programs that are being offered in the state of Maryland. In mechatronics engineering, a BS in mechatronics engineering, a BS in cloud computing, a BS in advanced computing, and cybersecurity management. And so these are some of our fastest growing programs. And so we see many students now coming to populate those programs. We also are seeing a huge increase in our nursing program here. Quite frankly, we are not going to be in a position to serve all the students who want to be nursing. Who want to go into nursing. I think about 10,500 or so students, about 2,000 or so of them want to go into our nursing program. And we have a two-tiered admissions process. And so they'll have to complete the first 10 courses, of course, in math and science, and then they have to apply. And so we have upped the number of students we're going to admit, but it's going to be somewhere around 150 or so students a year. And so it's other STEM programs as well, because the students now want to go into med school, they want to go into PhD programs. And so what we're seeing is that students are understanding that they can come to Morgan State University in Baltimore, they can get the highest quality of education, they can engage in all kinds of out of classroom experiences, study abroad experiences, internship experiences, an opportunity for them to participate in so many different clubs to elevate their leadership skills. And they're in an environment where they never have to question, as I always say, Jeff, is this a campus that is exuding to me every single day that I am a part of it? I'm not tolerated, I'm a part of it. And it reflects my values, it reflects my culture. And increasingly their parents come and they feel this at Morgan. And I think when you put all those things together, that is driving tens of thousands of applications we're getting each year, and consequently the high enrollments.
Dr. Wilson, last year we did a story at Morgan on your work on AI and machine learning, so artificial intelligence. Curious about two things. One, as an academic expert, where do you see this heading? But two, the issue about bias in AI, because it's being trained on something, and if it's being trained on the broader internet, on the the database of Facebook or whatever. There's a saying with the computer folks of garbage in, garbage out, and you can wind up with some weird stuff training the artificial intelligence that it sounds like is going to rule the world.
Jeff, thanks for asking that question. We are very excited about our National Center for Equitable AI Machine Learning here at Morgan. We have hired over 14 new tenure track faculty for that center. They will be conducting cutting edge research on how to reduce and eliminate bias in algorithms that really are guiding the AI technology. And so with our immensely diverse faculty here at Morgan, we think we can bring a perspective on this to the table that very few institutions in the country can bring. And so we're very, very excited. The way that came about actually is that we, meaning our cutting edge faculty, the person who's actually leading this center, is a full professor here, highly regarded in the nation in engineering. But we took a look at those large language models upon which AI is actually being built. And those large language models are replete with bias. And AI is only as good as the solid information and data that it extracts in order then to be applicable to the larger public. And so we're very excited about the path that we're on. We have numerous partnerships with the private sector that is also going to enable us to be on the cutting edge of the advancing AI technology. And it's created quite an excitement here at Morgan. We also see an opportunity as well to partner with many other HBCUs who also want to understand how they can get involved in this kind of research that's taking place at Morgan, and also update their curriculums to make sure students are being exposed to AI as they come through the institutions, the way our students are going to be exposed as they come to Morgan State University.
Before we go, with all the exciting things happening there, with all the growth that is happening there, what would you say are your top challenges? What does the university president worry about right now?
Well, this is really not rocket science. We still are an open university in a very the largest urban area in our state. And so not only me, but I think you asked this question, and it is asked nationally in a survey conducted by the American Council on Education of presidents and chancellors across the country. The number one thing that keeps all of us across the nation up at night is the safety of our campus. And that's a challenge. That's a challenge in our country, quite frankly, when we have 350 million people or so, and you have over 1.3, 1.4 billion guns. And so that's the challenge. That's what keeps me up at night, and that's what keeps many of my presidential and chancellorial colleagues up as well. Now, in addition, we were really, really fortunate to have had the long-running lawsuit in the state settled by the legislature 3 years ago. And so we are getting some limited funding from that, and we're using that to put in place some of these new high-demand programs and to shore up some existing programs. But I tell you, given Morgan's rapid rise as one of the top research institutions in our state and in the nation, being an anchor institution, looking at the economic impact we're having, funding is always an issue, as we are trying right now to secure the funding needed to build a world-class science building. So that's keeping me up at night, because we desperately need this world-class science building in order to continue our trajectory.
Dr. David Wilson, we appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
More information on HBCU Week can be found at mpt.org/HBCU.